Hey, welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. As always, it's really great to see you. You know, we're here today in our brand new listing on Burkwood Terrace down in the wonderful Lake Frederick area.
Yes, we love being here, and we'll be meeting with our clients in just a little bit. But guess what? The latest numbers for the end of March just came out.
And they look good.
They do. So we had to share it with you to let you know what's going on in the real estate market and what you can expect in the future.
Let's go ahead and get started. The median sold price in March was $721,609.
Yes, and this is up 6% from last month,
Still holding
7% from last year, which is really good for Northern Virginia.
Good indicators. The number of homes sold in March was 2,011.
This is up 28% from last month, down 2% from last year. And I have a little theory as to why that is, but I'll tell you later.
Yeah, we talked about that before we got on today, and we both kind of have our thoughts, but of course, Denise's thoughts are the most important.
That is not true. Just listen to him.
The number of days on the market, of course, this is the time that a listing goes on the market, is active, and then goes under contract. In March, the days on the market was 19 days.
And this is 3 days less than last month, which means the market's kind of speeding up a little bit, but it was actually 2 days more than this time last year. So again, we have a theory there.
Yeah, and we talked a little bit about that, and we'll talk about that according with inventory and the amount of inventory that's now available.
Yes.
All right, the number of homes for sale, this is at the end of March, was 3,254.
This is a whopping 25% from last month, 58% from last year. And I think
that deserves salty.
Yes,
right? That's more than a wowzer, that's salty.
Okay, so that's why we're saying that we think some numbers can be extreme. 58% up in inventory is a lot. And I'm thinking, just a theory, it could be the reason that we're down that 2% in homes sold, because the market is picking up in terms of number of homes for sale. And the same thing goes for the days on market, that there are more homes for buyers to choose from. So it's going to take a little longer for them to go on it.
Yeah, we've been getting more and more inquiries about sellers who are interested in putting their house on the market. And, you know, a lot of this, I think, is very good news. Certainly, we don't want there to be an indulgence, if you will, and saturate the market with brand new listings. But right now, it seems to be very strong. The other good news that came out this last week, hopefully this will hold with all the other news that's coming out of the current administration, but there was the CPI report, which reported that inflation is actually headed down towards that magic number, of course, that the Fed chair keeps talking about, and that the March number was 2.4%.
Yes.
That's actually down considerably from the February number at 2.8%.
Yes.
So I think a lot of people were surprised by this. The number came out a little early this month, so we were glad that we were able to bring that to you today.
Correct.
But that is a favorable indication with regard to where prices are going, although I think there's going to be an argument that let's wait to see what happens with the April numbers.
Yes, and I was going to say that in terms of the mortgage interest rate, somebody made a comment, one of the financial experts, it's like, it's great, it's 2.4, but it really doesn't mean anything to us right now.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the political climate is that everybody's talking about tariffs and how it's going to affect prices, how it's going to affect the economy, how it's going to affect real estate. And so most experts are saying it's a wait and see. No one knows for sure what's going to happen. So everybody's kind of like holding. Same thing with the mortgage interest rates. They are holding. They're closer to that 7% number again. And so you also have to wonder if this will affect April's numbers. Are buyers going to hold off during this time? We'll have to wait to see.
Yeah, it's anybody's guess, I think, at this point. But again, there's some indicators that we'll continue to watch that give you an idea, at least kind of helps us a little bit with the direction, and then allows us to bring that to you with regard to what kind of the agents on the street are seeing. And I would say overall, it's still very optimistic. Again, we're talking with more sellers about putting their houses on the market, but we're attending, and participating in open houses. We've got another open house this weekend, And it'll be interesting to see just the buyers, again, how many, where they are in the process, and just kind of read their optimism. But overall, this is, of course, as we're entering into mid-April, the marketplace is still very, very optimistic.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think people are tired of sitting on the fence for so
That's right.
long, and they're like, you know what? If I'm financed well and I can afford to get a house. Another interesting note to put in there is that the mortgage lenders were looking at how many of the sales are coming from all cash offers, thinking that it would be higher. It's only 22%, 7 point something are actual mortgages, which means a lot of first-time home buyers are taking advantage of this time.
That's very true. And we're seeing that with the buyers that we're working with, again, with our open houses. But as always, we really hope the information that we bring to you each week is valuable, and that your time spent with us is certainly, benefits from the interaction that we have, again, with the marketplace, with the pundits, if you will, out there, the national reports that come into us. So we'll keep bringing those to you.
Yes, please do us a favor. Please hit the subscribe button. We met someone who actually watches our video and we got so excited. So please be the second person, subscribe to our videos. We'd really appreciate it.
We'll look forward to seeing you next week, and we can't wait to tell you some even better news.
Yes.
Bye.